Hey everybody, we have a huge trade to talk about that took place tonight, actually during one of my live streams, so we talked a lot about it during the stream, but I also want to get a video out on it. One of the biggest trade pieces coming up to the deadline this year was Kyle Palmieri of the New Jersey Devils. Kyle Palmieri was traded tonight along with Travis Zajac to the New York Islanders in exchange for AJ Greer, Mason Jobst, a 2021 first-round draft pick, and a conditional fourth-round pick that could become a third in either 2022 or 2023 if the Islanders make the Stanley Cup Finals this year. So, obviously, a big trade here involving one of the biggest names talked about at the deadline in Kyle Palmieri. And looking at this trade, this is an absolute huge win for the New York Islanders. The Isles are a team with Stanley Cup potential this season. They're getting great goaltending. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they've actually scored more goals than normal this year. The Isles are fighting for first place in the East Division, and they have looked awesome this season. They have a legitimate shot at the Stanley Cup. So when you have a legitimate shot at the Stanley Cup, you go for it. And that is what the New York Islanders have done here. Yes, Zajac and Palmieri are UFAs at the end of the year. They're not thinking about the offseason. This is a move for going for the cup this season, and it's a great one for the New York Islanders. I'm honestly a little surprised that this is all New Jersey got back in return. I'm looking at this as an absolute robbery by the Islanders. To get one of the top scorers on the trade market, and the only significant piece that you give up is a first-round draft pick, and you also happen to get a really good veteran bottom six forward in Travis Zajac as well. This is a huge win for the New York Islanders, an absolutely huge win in my opinion. When you look at what New Jersey got back in return, yes, they're happy to get that first-round pick. First-round draft picks are obviously valuable, big pieces of a trade, but that's really all they got. That conditional fourth-round pick probably isn't going to be a whole lot. And then the two players that they got, very interesting that New Jersey would even be interested in these guys. AJ Greer is 24 years old. He has played a little bit in the NHL with the Colorado Avalanche, but very limited NHL action, has basically spent his entire career in the AHL, and he only has 2 points in 10 games in the AHL this season, and he's minus 12. And his last NHL experience didn't even come during last year. It happened the year before, during 2018-19. So it's very unlikely that AJ Greer becomes a regular at the NHL level at any point, unless you see some significant improvement within the next year or so for him. And then Mason Jobst is even more of a guy who's probably never going to play in the NHL. He played 4 years at Ohio State University in college. He was a pretty good player there. He was the captain of the team his final 2 seasons, but he's played his entire pro career in the AHL, and he is 27 years old already. So it's not like this is a young player that New Jersey is getting to bring in here. These are not young prospects. This is a 24-year-old in AJ Greer and a 27-year-old in Mason Jobst coming into the New Jersey Devils organization here. You're basically acquiring AHL players and guys that are very unlikely to become regulars at the NHL level. So I was a little shocked that New Jersey didn't get more in return, because really the only true valuable piece that they got for Palmieri and Zajac is that first-round pick. So obviously it's nice to get the first-round pick, but that's all you could get for one of the biggest names on the trade market this trade deadline. If this sets the market, it sets it very low for scoring wingers, because I thought Palmieri was going to fetch a bigger return than that. But it is what it is. The deal is made. Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac are now New York Islanders. And again, like I said, I think this is an absolute win for the New York Islanders. They did not have to give up a whole lot, and they got two very good veteran players who can play a big role on this team, particularly Palmieri replacing the injured Anders Lee as far as a scoring winger goes. And Zajac, I think, is an underrated boost to the bottom six who can really play well in a third-line role for that for the Islanders team. So I really like the move here for New York, and they are a legitimate Stanley Cup contender this season. They're very well coached. They're great defensively. They're getting really good goaltending from Varlamov this year. And now Lee goes out with the injury. They replaced Lee with Palmieri. They've got a great forward group there. The Islanders are going to be a team to watch in the playoffs this year. But that's my opinion on tonight's trade. A very big one between the New York Islanders and the New Jersey Devils. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon, merchandise store, donation link, and channel memberships are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys soon.